Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast, the weekly podcast about video games with news, reviews, analysis, and opinion. Keeping you up to date on how to wisely spend your money for video games, movies, RPGs, comics, books, and more for over 16 years. Find us online at Gamersledge.com. And now, your hosts.
Hello and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. Come on in, have a refreshing large root beer from Checkers and or Rallies, depending on what part of the country you're from. Sit down and relax. Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. It's a conversation between friends, a look at what it means to be a hardcore gamer, discussing the video gaming industry and all things nerdcore. I am your host, Balf, and joining me this week is Neo Sapien.
Howdy.
Burgundy.
Nerdcore? We're not nerds.
Burgundy.
Hi.
And Toot Monkey will be joining us in just a little bit. Now, if we can, please, gentlemen, all, if we can, hold hands, like through virtually. Come on, hold hands. Go, or Toot Monkey could be calling me right now. Great for live stuff. Hey, are you on your way for the podcast? We're just talking about you live. Welcome to the internet, by the way.
There was a car accident. Sandy was in a car accident. She's okay.
Okay, good.
I'm getting it taken care of right now. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to miss this space a little too long. If not, then yeah, I'll jump around in the middle.
Yeah, just whenever. I'm sorry to hear about your car accident. I hope she's okay.
It's all good. She's going good. She's a little shaken up. The car is gone though, but that's why I bought it for safety. And but yeah, everybody's okay. Be happy. Just, I'll be there in spirit. Then I'll be there hopefully here soon once we get all this.
No problem. Take care of business first.
Okay.
Yay, bye. Yay. That's fantastic. So yeah, all right then. Yeah, if we could put Matt, can you hold hands? Matt. Well, you got to say something because otherwise the camera doesn't switch to you.
Yes, I'm here we go.
Oh, right. It's still not going to switch to you because I had it locked on me. All right, try again.
Okay, trying again. Hello.
All right, there we go. And Dave, if you can start some low chanting.
Yummy, 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 yummy. Yummy,
Perfect.
yummy, yummy, yummy. Is that what we're talking about? Like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that kind of chanting. That's perfect.
Yeah, that was the chanting from Citizens on Patrol Police Academy.
Oh, I approve of it. Just you got to keep doing it.
Why? What are we doing?
Just trust me. Do it.
Because.
Now it just feels weird.
Okay, come on. I can't do my next section until you.
Okay, yummy, 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 yummy.
And now let us begin the seance.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Oh, great beyond.
Yummy, yummy. Okay.
Filled with nuns in overturned vans and those who have crossed over to the other side.
Latu Parada.
I beg of you, let us speak with Daniel Pike, aka TrialAccess. Spirits, can you hear us? I think we've got something. We might possibly have something. Things are going crazy on my side of the screen. I don't know what's going on. Daniel, can you hear us?
I'm here with you.
Yay, Daniel Pike. Hooray, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
We have resurrected him from the dead.
You really need to start clearing these bits before we start.
We are meeting across Google Hangouts This is a fan-supported, listener-supported podcast by fans just like you. We give it to you free of charge almost every Thursday on iTunes.com, Gamersledge.com. Rate us, subscribe to us, watch us on YouTube, and Twitch.tv. Write in to gamersledge@gmail.com. Let us know what you like, questions you have, or the topics you would like us to discuss. Let's go around the room and talk about what we've been playing, starting off with the man on the phone, Neo.
Hey, yeah, my first podcast from the phone. So, traveling in the hotel interweb nets suck worse than 4G. So, hey, you've got me on phone. So, yeah, I've been playing. I finished up Wolf Among Us, episodes 4 and 5. Platinumed it. So, yeah, dang. Knowing nothing about Fables, the very, very basics of it, that was quite the heck of an experience.
Anything else you played?
Yeah, I started up. I got to read it because otherwise I grabbed the wrong name. Muramasa Rebirth on the Vita, which is a Vanillaware game, and it is so freaking pretty. It shouldn't be legal. It plays well. It plays. If you played Odin Sphere, that's the only other Vanillaware game I've played. Plays pretty much the same as Odin Sphere. Same graphic style, but you don't have to plant the stupid seeds. That was the part that got me with Odin Sphere, was the stupid seed planting. None of that here. Some interesting swordplay mechanics and switching between demon blades. So that's I'm having fun with that. It's hard, not unbearably so, but it's not super easy. Again, another thing with Vanillaware games. And then started the last season's The Walking Dead from AMC, so got that started finally. And then I've been traveling. Yay! Love traveling.
Dave, how about you?
Bit Trip Runner 2.
Really? Now, I have to say, is this on console or phone or where?
I actually played on the PS3. I downloaded a bunch of stuff from like PSN Plus that I was like gonna play, that I wanted to queue up before it was gone, and so I start going through it, and as I'm like looking through to like find the games I just downloaded, Bit Trip Runner 2 was there, and I'm like, ooh, I need to play that for 3 hours, and I really like it. It's just a fun game. I was really a fan of the original Bit Trip games. I had the collections on like I think I played them on the Wii and the 3DS. They're really good on there. Bit Trip Runner was my favorite. I even had a soundtrack CD of it for some reason. I'm not sure where that came from.
I'm pretty sure that Slender Man is in it. Like he chases you. I'm not joking. Like really.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, Google it. There's like a Slender Man Easter egg where he comes out and chases you while you're running.
Okay, that would suck. That would be upsetting. That would seriously damage my karma.
So you should totally Google that.
I will in a little bit. There's been a really great event that happened this week. We have new Weird Al Yankovic album.
Yeah, no, okay, we can't talk about that now. That's part of our news.
I know.
Our news/Music Monday post that somebody didn't do, so we're picking up the slack on the podcast.
I've got reasons, man. Reasons.
Hey, that's what I was doing. So that's one of the things I'm doing. That's a huge one right there. As far as like other nerd stuff, I splurged because it's feeling a little bad last week, and I got the Masterpiece Soundwave.
Oh, come on, show it on the podcast. Come on.
Okay. Let me get there here. And the laser beak's dropping.
Heard her dropping the mic before, but not the laser beak.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't he fly?
The awesome thing about the laser beak, okay, so you see the laser beak looks like, totally accurate to the cartoon and everything.
Hmm?
This whole thing folds up into a tape.
Yeah, that's what the original one did too. It goes inside his chest.
No. The little things on the back were separate pieces.
Yeah, they're not now?
This is the tape. Everything folds in.
Oh, well, that's freaking cool, because they were separate posts in the original one that you had to push into.
Exactly. So when I first opened up the package, I'm sitting there going through the thing, and I just saw the tape there. I started looking at it, and I'm like, where are the extra pieces? I was like, where's the pieces of the Laserbeak? And I started getting annoyed, and then I started looking at the instructions, and they were in there. So I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. But if you're a fan of Soundwave at all, which I am, this is a great, G1 representation of him. Comes with Megatron as a gun. Everything else, he's got the concussion blaster, his regular blaster, which folds up.
And he has articulated fingers, does he not?
He does. There's the one finger, and then like the second part of the hand, like the mitt, is all one piece. Actually, is it all one piece? Yeah. Which is what most of them are. I know the Optimus Prime's like that. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like it. It's very posable. It has a couple little like chest plate enhancements, like the when he would do like the scanning mode and stuff.
Yeah.
It has like that. It has an Energon cube.
Oh, it did come with the Energon cube. Yeah, I hate
it does
more now.
Yeah, I mean it's a clear box. That's all.
Yeah, I know, but it's still an Energon cube. You own an Energon cube. That's all I have to say.
And it has like this little scanner plate that you can sit there and like put on his chest to make it look like he's scanning. He's got that little sensor visor that can replace one of his hands. That just like packs into the back. And then there's also I also picked up the Ravage and Frenzy set.
But not Rumble?
Ravage and Rumble. It's Ravage and Rumble.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't think there was a Frenzy. I didn't see one. So and Rumble even has like the piston arms that are replaceable. So that's kind of cool. And Rumble actually does have the things are actually separate posts for his little, backpack or guns, however you have in position. So
okay.
That's
nice. Anything else you've been playing or doing?
Just a couple random things. I'm trying to think. I thought there was something else I picked up, like Lego-wise, or I just built the Guardians of the Galaxy Lego sets. That's all.
Cool. Daniel, what about you? Cool. What have you been playing or doing?
So I'm gonna start off with I wasn't joking before when I said I couldn't hear Matt.
Really?
Yeah, I don't hear him at all. So if you guys hear him, awesome.
Yeah,
but I hear you. I hear Dave, and I see Matt's picture, and I see when his lips move, but I don't hear his voice at all. It may be because we're both on mobiles, or maybe it's just because I'm a moron. So.
Now he's just taunting you by not actually saying anything.
That's fine. Still can't hear him, so it doesn't make a difference.
That doesn't even make any sense, though.
Yeah, I don't get it either, how you could not hear him.
I have no idea. I can kind of hear him over your speakers, maybe? I don't know. Like, when he talks, I hear, like, maybe whispers, but I actually don't hear him at all, and it's weird.
The funny part is when he talks, I hear whispers, too.
That's because he's whispering in your ear.
No, that's just the other voices in my head.
Your face is just stuck on my screen with the big eyes. So I have been playing Shadowrun Returns on the iPad, which is an excellent, excellent game. They also have it on Steam. It's significantly inexpensive. It's along the same lines as Baldur's Gate or Diablo, where it's the third-person bird's-eye view kind of view, and it's a really excellent game. They did a really good job with it. If you get it on Steam for the computer, you can actually access user-created content, so Shadowrun missions that people make. If you're on the iPad, they haven't unlocked that capability yet. So I would suggest totally going with the computer version. That's one thing I've been playing. I also have a Sunday night superhero pen and paper role-playing game that I play. We are currently mutants in the Age of Apocalypse setting, so that's a lot of fun. And we just finished a Star Wars Edge of the Empire series that my buddy was running from the modules that are available. So that was also something fun that we've been getting through. But other than that, nothing much.
And any other things that you're interested on the video gaming front?
Well, I through the gracious benefactor, I just got Second Son, So I'm really looking forward to playing that. And I've been looking up on Destiny quite a bit. Some of the videos, I hadn't seen any of the actual playthroughs for Destiny at all, and it looks like a lot of fun. It also looks gorgeous. So.
Dave, did you buy Daniel a PS4? You are just Mr. Christmas.
No, I've been sober ever since that incident. Just because I can't afford to buy anybody else anything right now.
Good. Well, let's see. I've finished Sniper Elite 3, which, just to give a quick synopsis, I would say it's probably about a 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Shooting people in the head is a lot of fun, but the rest of the game design is really dated. It's a lot of cliche and tropes we've all seen in every other game possible. It's okay. It's got a lot of glitches, actually. And then playing with a friend should be easy, but you lose the X-ray, death kills, which is kind of the whole draw of the game. So it's okay. It's okay. I started Valiant Hearts, which, if you're not familiar with that game, it is an UbiArts game about the Great War, World War I. Incredibly depressing, but also very beautiful, very historical, and informational. It's one of those games where, if you think back to like Oregon Trail, where it was actually teaching you stuff, but you didn't feel like you were learning stuff, that's what this is too.
I was really curious about that one because I love the art style to it and the whole thing. But once I saw the dog in there, and I'm like, a little worried about that.
You know what? It's actually not what you think.
Okay.
The dog is part of the game mechanics, but it's not. The story does not revolve around the dog like I thought it did.
Okay, I'm just making sure he doesn't die.
Well, I can't vouch for that. I'm not far enough into the story. I will say that I figured this to be like a 2 or 3 hour game. It's not. Like, literally, I put, I think, 4 or 5 hours into the first chapter before it told me I was done with chapter 1. I'm like, holy crap. So I apparently have quite a bit more to play. So it's pretty meaty, and it's worth the $15 download. Let's see. The other thing, I also picked up Another World 20th Anniversary Edition, and I just barely started that. It immediately took me back to 1992 when it came out, because that's one of the first games I played on PC. And then I watched the EVO tournament all this weekend. If you're not familiar with EVO, it is the world's largest fighting game tournament. They have people come from around the world for almost every fighting game you could think of. BlazBlue was actually the largest cash pot, and if you get a chance to watch that finals match, it's actually really worth it. Very, very good storytelling in there as well as playing. But then the Ultra Street Fighter 4 tournament was actually the largest Street Fighter tournament ever held. They had over 2,000 entrants, and that was also some really good. When I think about what esports really means, that's esports, not Dota or other things. There's actually stories going on in the fighting game, and you see people's thought processes, and just the incredible amounts of mind games and reading and being able to figure out what the other person's going to do is amazing in all those games. So if you get a chance to watch any of the finals of that stuff, I highly recommend it.
So we said about the esports, so I think that's esports. So League of Legends, not esports, right?
I don't feel League of Legends is esports.
There you go. That's all I wanted.
I mean, the guy who won the Street Fighter 4 tournament use it like a PlayStation 1 controller or something too.
What is he doing with his voice? All right, so now I don't hear you either. I'm hearing you through someone else's speaker, but I do not hear you.
It's not. Is it coming through here?
Yeah, maybe.
All right, maybe just unplug the headset. The guys over the phone get an echo, then they get it. Any better?
Oh yeah, just make sure you mute yourself when you're not talking. That's probably easier. Can you hear me?
Okay, well that's going to be interesting, but okay.
I still can't hear you. All right then. So let's
up to the undead. What I was saying was, didn't the Street guy play with a PS1 controller? I saw something about that.
Does anybody understand what he's saying?
He said the guy
still
who
can't
won
hear
was
me?
using a PS1 controller.
Yeah, the guy who won actually played all of his Street Fighter matches using a PS I don't think it was a PS1 controller. I want to say it was actually an Xbox controller because I think they were playing on 360. But he did use a gamepad, which is amazing because almost no one does that. Almost everyone uses the full controllers, and he actually did it with a gamepad. And it was actually his first top 8 at Evo, and he's actually the first how do I say this? He's Asian, but he's not from an Asian country. He's from France, so he is the first European to ever win the Street Fighter Evo championships. And literally, if you go back and watch, it's usually best of 3 rounds, all the way from loser's bracket. He had to play like 8 times, and he would always lose the first 2 matches, and then make a super comeback and win the next 3 matches in a row. He did that for every single round. So by the time you finished the tournament, you were like, "Oh my God, I'm so tensed out." So it was really kind of a comeback story in the biggest way. So definitely very cool. All right, let's jump directly into news because boy, do we have a lot of it. I mentioned I was watching Evo. During Evo, a couple of announcements actually popped out. Tekken 7 was announced during Evo. Sadly for Namco Bandai, apparently it got leaked by their own marketing department in advance of the day of Evo, so everybody knew about it. But they did come up on stage and show information and a quick cinematic trailer, no actual gameplay. Raiden was announced for Mortal Kombat X with 3 different playstyles, and that's an interesting video if you've not seen it. And I do have to say that his fatality is electrifying. I'll be here all week.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. And also
It's
Robin.
best just to not even acknowledge him when he does that.
Yeah, Robin and Lucina from what's the strategy RPG that's on the DS? I'm told Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, were announced, as well as Captain Falcon being confirmed for the newest Smash game as well. So check out all those different things and check out the Evo Finals if you have any interest in any kind of fighting games. Lots of good stuff going on this weekend. Now, Dave.
Yes.
I know you are excited for Destiny because I'm still buying it for you. I don't think I've forgotten. You have not pre-ordered it, correct?
I have not.
Okay, so I'm going to give both Daniel and you my download code because you can have up to 3 people use it. So that way you'll still be able to do the beta, even though I will take care of that next week for you in the actual purchasing of it.
Okay.
But you'll have the code tomorrow.
Cool.
To plug in your PS4.
Awesome.
Let's see. So I know you've been excited for Destiny. And apparently Bungie's got some news about a companion app for your phone or tablet.
Apparently there is. Pardon me, excuse me. Bungie's Chris Gossett showed off the app to IGN actually. And apparently this is going to give you, it's going to be it's going to be a supplemental application that shows you all kinds of like in-game information. It's going to have 3D models of your character in-game. I'm guessing it looks like you can change your loadout and everything. It's going to have like a wealth of stats and information on there. I'm kind of hoping it even goes to the level of, remember when Halo 2 first started?
Yes.
And they had the website for that?
Yes.
That would be really cool to have that on a tablet.
Different types of kills and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, like if they do stuff like that and have that on a tablet, like right by, like while you're in game, oh, that's gonna be kind of cool, actually.
They do that.
It is all in there.
It's all in there.
Nice.
As well as how many matches you've played, how many hours you've logged in the game. If you haven't seen the video, you should check it out because it's pretty sweet. You can actually like use your finger to swipe and rotate your character.
Yeah.
And then you can actually change the loadouts like you said, and then you can also manage your upgrades as well.
So it's basically did you guys look at the page that they had up for the alpha?
For the beta, you mean?
And nobody can. No, for the alpha, when they were running the alpha, they had a page with all the stats and when you got those cards or whatever they were, that was all on there. It wasn't on Bungie's site. It was on an actual like stats page site thing that they had for the alpha. It's been taken down. I found the link to it again, and it's not there anymore. So
yeah, we've got more information on Destiny. I think further down in the news items for today. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about this app. Looks like it'll actually be useful. So let's see. From there, Neo, I know you love GameStop.
oh yeah.
And everybody's been asking, well, with the transition to digital, how is GameStop going to make their money?
Okay, sure. I've often wondered such things. Well, since they do make the vast majority of their money off of resale versus their used sale rather than retail of a new product, but they are playing around with the ideas for how to make that wonderful thing that we all have come to love so much, pre-ordering, which I hate pre-ordering. I despise it. But anyway, how they can make it more profitable for them, basically, or make it more attractive, or make it an utter and complete nightmare. But the there's a bunch of things I'm not familiar with here, and they're analysts and things and stuff and whatever, but the long story short, they're talking about working with game companies to get not unique add-ons or early access to DLC or anything like that, but actual unique content that you get if you pre-order the game from them. If this comes to fruition, one can only assume that other pre-order sites will attempt to do the same thing. So you'll have where, now if you pre-order it at Best Buy, you get a figure. If you pre-order it at Target, you get a lithograph. If you pre-order it at GameStop, you get a DLC code. Everybody's got their own little thing. Instead now, if you want to play level 2, buy this game at GameStop. If you want to buy level 3, buy this game at Toys R Us. So will it get that bad? Probably not, but if you want to play the entire game, it's going to get to the point where you'll just wait for the Game of the Year or Consolidated Edition that'll have all the stuff in it later, and just buy that, because you're not going to pre-order it 6 times at 6 different vendors to get all of the content of the game. GameStop has responded to this discussion, the leak of this coming out, by saying that they're always looking for a product to meet our customers' need and create excitement, and we work closely with our partners to do just that. Wholly not statement anyone. So yeah, honestly, I understand the logic behind pre-orders, and I understand how it works well for the vendors, and it helps with distribution and all that stuff too. But it's a practice that I don't really care for. And to make it even more, like, say, okay, you can't have the whole game unless you pre-order this from me, is for me, it's disgraceful. But I'm old. What do I know?
I just like the fact that I'm going to get a Lego version of Plastic Man for the Lego Batman 3 pre-order. I'm kind of okay with that one.
Hey,
Sorry.
Matt, you should put that back in. I've been typing to you in chat, but you can't see it. I just realized that.
Oh, yeah. It's on the phone.
So, yeah, from there, our next story, so Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is due out on November 21st. However, the big new feature that's going to be included in the game is the ability to dress Pikachu up as a Southern Belle. That's right. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you will have a cosplay Pikachu feature. You will be able to dress up Pikachu in cosplay, and I want to vomit now.
think my only problem with this story is the way you say Pikachu.
It's Pikachu.
It's not.
It totally is. That's totally Americanized. It's
I've seen the cartoon, dude.
Yeah, you've seen the American cartoon. So you have Pikachu Rockstar, Pikachu Bell, Pikachu Popstar, Pikachu PhD, and Pikachu Libre.
Bless you.
Yeah, that last one I love. Japanese?
You would.
Spanish. Japanese, Spanish. All right, whatever. So yeah, you can also feed your Pokemon, and he can eat Pokepuffs.
What?
Yeah.
I don't take care of these things.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
The whole purpose of Pokemon in its core is cockfighting for kids.
You know,
we're supposed to actually care for them.
I'm glad you brought that up. We're going to talk about this at the very end of the news section. We're going to come back to this, so this is going to lead full circle today. So, but I thought that was a very odd thing to be, trumpeting up as a feature of Pokemon. It's very strange. But anyways, let's see. Our next story, Daniel.
Hey!
I believe that there was some tabletop gaming stuff that came out this week.
There totally is. The 15th, just a couple days ago, they released the Dungeons & Dragons starter set. So any in the role-playing community know that these starter sets have been big news for a lot of the different systems. Pathfinder had a starter set that gave you the basic rundown of how Pathfinder works. Star Wars, all 3 Star Wars role-playing games that are coming out that use the same system, but they're different settings. All 3 of them have a starter set, and now the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition does as well. A starter set, in theory, is all of the rules needed to run either a small encounter or a portion of the game so that both the GM and the players can get used to how the program runs, how the game runs. It usually comes with a map and a module, like a story that the GM has that's fully printed and all together. Sometimes it comes with tokens. Usually it comes with a set of dice, so that it's the first step into this system. So, what can you expect with D&D Next, which is what the 5th edition is being branded? I've seen a couple of the sets out, and I've got a couple friends that have gotten them, and overall, the reviews are generally positive. For the steep price, just kidding, of $20, $19.95 elsewhere,
Quick.
12.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. You were going to say
$12.95 through Amazon, which is by far worth it. Absolutely worth it. You can own the box set, which has a rule book of 32 pages, a starting adventure of 64 pages, and a set of 6 dice. It also has character sheets that are printed out and the like. If you haven't had a chance to play D&D before, this is a good starter game to get started with your group of friends who may or may not have experience. As you can see, Mark is holding up what the box looks like right now.
Well, now they can see it. I have to talk in order for that to happen.
Well, yeah, back and forth. The kicker, kids, boys and girls, is that for the first time, Wizards of the Coast released the basic rules for Dungeons & Dragons, a completely free 110-page PDF containing all essential character creation guidelines, spells, gear, combat rules to play the most recent incarnation of the classic heroic fantasy role-playing game. Now, this is all of the basic rules that you need to actually play the game. You can I've actually taken a look at this PDF, and it's got essentially everything you'd need. It's not going to have more specific information, like specific skill sets and the like, but it's going to have everything that you need down to the core, and you can really home rule everything else. However, I would highly suggest, at the minimum, picking up that box set for $12.95 off Amazon, because that's a heck of a price. Coming up here soon is the Player's Handbook, which is going to have a majority of rule set in that as well. They're trying to build this up kind of like the games have in the past, where there's going to be a series of books, specifically the top 3, that will help you play, that will help you get in more depth in the rules, get in more depth in the character creation. This gaming system is a mixture, so far as what I've been told, a mixture of 3.5 and 4. There's a lot of people that hated 4. I get it. I myself played 4 quite a bit, and I liked it for the fact that it was really easy to play online.
So before you answer any more of that, we actually have a question that came in from friend of the show, Gaz C. He says, "Hey, do any of you guys ever play tabletop stuff? Dungeons and Dragons or anything from the Games Workshop universe or anything like that? I play Warhammer 40K, and I'm really not familiar with a whole lot of other systems. So I thought we'd go around the room and say if there is anything like that we play besides video games, because I know we do pretty much focus on video games during our podcast. So Daniel, you started to answer that, so why don't you continue, and then we'll go around the rest of the room.
So for the question, role playing is pen and paper role playing is my main hobby. I actually don't video game all that much. I'm going to start video gaming a little bit more, but role playing overall is my main hobby. I have played Warhammer 40K, Space Marines and Tyranids. I've played Warhammer Fantasy, Dwarves and Goblin Army. I currently play War Machine and Hordes. War Machine being Circle of COC, and Hordes Troll Bloods. And I like those games as well. Those are the miniature strategic war game. But role playing is definitely where I make my hobby home. What about you guys?
Dave, do you play anything besides video games? And Transformers and Legos?
I actually had a really bad collectible card game habit years ago. So I played a lot of Magic. So I kind of got out of that, and then I got into some smaller kind of stuff where people were playing Dominion. You probably played that, right?
Yes.
Most people have played that one. That's a really fun, quick one. So I've been liking games like that, where go over with somebody. You don't have to learn some giant rule set because there's a million cards. Just something nice, simple. You learn in 15 minutes, and you start playing a few rounds of it, and you have a nice 4-hour night, game night of that kind of stuff. So I've been kind of simplifying over the years with that. But I have a friend of mine who's bugging me to dig up the old Magic cards and get together for a night, and that's just going to be bad.
Yep, you have no idea.
That's just going to be hey, remember me, old friend? Yeah. It's not going to be good.
So Matt, what about you?
I've done a little bit of everything over the years. Currently, I don't really do much. We were starting a Warhammer RPG. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay. We were starting a Warhammer RPG a while back. That kind of got waylaid because of real-life stuff. I have played D&D 3.2, 3.5, and 4. I've got a guy that's running, I'm going to mispronounce this. Is it Malafax? Something. It's it's a miniatures game, kind of like a Warhammer, but it's way less expensive, and it's horror, freak show kind of characters. So there's a group of that in the city where I work. Unfortunately, that's 40 minutes from my house, so that doesn't really work out for me. But with the kids, I've been doing stuff like zombie dice, zombies, some of the more tabletop games of that nature. Hoping to kind of get into some more stuff like Ticket to Ride, Settlers of Catan, or one of the Catan variants, and get into some of the more strategic board game style games. That's probably where I'll be spending more of my time, in less the pen and paper RPG stuff.
So let's see. Since I used to own a store, I pretty much every possible addiction I've had at one point. I've had the paper crack addiction, and of course the most important cards, Cloak and Dagger, are there on that side of the page. But anyways, I used to play a game professionally called Versus, and that was my bread and butter. I also played Magic for a very long time. I actually got into Magic again about 2 years ago, and I managed to place 8th in states. And then, Daniel, what happened to all my cards after I placed 8th in states?
I now have a whole bunch of magic cards.
That's right, because I said, this is dangerous. I can't do this again. And so I sent him all my cards because I'm like, better him than me. I also play... you can't see it now, but maybe eventually if I ever get this new camera I have hooked up for webcam, you will be able to see it. I actually have an entire bookshelf of nothing but pen and paper RPGs. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I also love Warhammer Fantasy 2nd Edition. I also love Firefly. Curse you and your Block 7, Daniel. And I also really love the White Wolf series, Mage, Vampire, Werewolf, all that type of stuff. And then I have a ton of what I would call almost party games. This one being my favorite of all times is called Cutthroat Caverns. It is the fastest way to turn your friends into your enemies. It is a co-opetition game in that you're all basically a Dungeons and Dragons party, and you all have cards in your hand that deal a specific amount of damage, and you're all fighting a monster together, but whoever lands the killing blow is the only person that gets points for it. And so there are many cards to muck with your friends, etc. This is always a good time and always a great way to get hurt feelings. So that's a fantastic game also. So yes, I think pretty much all of us... I'm playing in a D&D campaign right now. Sometimes, whenever it meets, I go play. And that place is pretty cool because they have every system known to man and a giant conference table in the bottom of somebody's house. It's pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, we all play lots of other things besides just video games. This just happens to be mostly video game centric podcast, but we also cover other gaming stuff on here as well, as you can see. So, thanks for the question, Gaz. Hopefully that answers it for you. And from there, did you have anything else on the D&D Next starter set, Daniel?
Nope. Go get it.
So, what? Oh, yeah, right. Thank you. We did actually put a unboxing video up on the site for the next D&D Next starter set. If you've not looked at it, the artwork is phenomenal. Highly recommend you check that video out. That will be in the links in the bottom of the video when we post. It goes up to YouTube. And in general geek/music news, since we didn't do our Music Monday post, Weird Al, as Dave mentioned earlier, has released his new album, Mandatory Fun, and the video for its first, second, and third singles are now online. The first single, Word Crimes, which is a much-needed grammar lesson for the internet, parodying blurred lines, which is phenomenal. It's probably my favorite video of all time of his now. That's over at Nerdist. On I don't know where that one is. The second single was Tacky, which is a parody of Pharrell Williams' Happy.
That was actually the day one.
Was that the day one?
Yeah, Tacky was day one, then Word Crimes.
Then Word Crimes, yeah. And today on College Humor, they debuted Foil, which is a parody of Lord's Royals. And if you're in the mood for watching good music... What's that?
That's the best one. That's better than the Pharrell.
I have to agree. That was my favorite song of the album. Like I said, I have a buddy that works for Weird Al, so I heard about that one early, and we both decided that's our favorite song. And then we were really excited. He didn't see the video, so we were really excited for the video of it. And I think Boyle, he knocked it out of the park with the video.
I agree.
Not that Word Crimes isn't great. It is amazing.
I think Word Crimes is still better personally, but that's okay. That's
Did
just
you
because
see behind the scenes of that?
No, it's just one of my pet peeves, and that's why I love the web series Your Grammar Sucks so much.
Oh yeah.
It does nothing but make fun of people who can't spell or use grammar on the internet. But while we're in this vein, the other two things that I wanted to talk about were the season finale of Epic Rap Battles released Monday, and it's both inspired in premise and really good rap as well. So check that out. And then lastly, Rhett and Link have just released a new good song called OCD, which is actually pretty amusing as well. So check out all 5 of those on your friendly neighborhood YouTubes, and you can see all of those.
And real quick, the guy that made the video for Where Crimes did a like a behind-the-scenes breakdown that actually even had like the initial animatic that he like the initial like test run of the video, and just all kinds of stuff that's littered in there. Which is there's just a lot of amazing detail that he crammed in there that happened so quick. But
yeah, I've watched it like 16 times now, and I keep noticing different words in the opening dictionary page flips. And there's pictures of Al and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to check that out a little bit more.
It's crammed with detail. You have to say it.
So Daniel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have to say something or it doesn't switch to you.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. So, I love me some Avengers.
Yep.
And one of my favorite characters is Beta Ray Bill, and I hope that eventually Beta Ray Bill will eventually make it to, the movies. But if he does, he's going to end up in Thor. And apparently Marvel's got some news about Thor.
Yeah. So I don't know why they picked the place they did to announce it, but Marvel announced on The View, or they're to announce on The View.
No, they did.
That Thor is going to be a woman here in the comics pretty soon. If you can see that right there. So while details are few and far between, we know that the new Thor was saved by her predecessor, the former male Thor, who is no longer worthy to wield Mjolnir. The only Mew, yeah. The only other detail is that we have that this #1 issue will premiere in October, and it's quoted as saying, "This is not She-Thor, this is not Lady Thor, this is not Thorita. This is Thor, the Thor," which means that unlike Batwoman, who was a female person who was around the same time as Batman, this is a woman with the powers of Thor who is sitting in Thor's place instead. It's funny that you mentioned Beta Ray Bill, because I was going to say, it's not uncommon for there to be other people in existence or creatures in existence, sentient beings in existence, that have the moral and ethical fortitude to wield Mew Mew.
Yeah, well, Thor Frog, that's all I have to say.
Thor Frog.
Which, if you're not familiar with that, that's actually a storyline in which a frog wields Thor.
Stupid Loki.
Or wields Mjolnir, excuse me.
But yeah, so what do you guys think? Female Thor.
Well, I'm guessing I'm the only one who's actually reading God of Thunder. Is anyone else?
Nope, that's all you, buddy.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of a female Thor? I think it's perfectly fine. I'm really interested to read it, and I'll probably go and pick it up because it looks good.
So there.
Go ahead. They've been doing well with the new young characters.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next.
So, like the new Ms. Marvel, Miles Morales.
Is Matt talking?
Yes. Apparently.
And he's cutting in and out for me too, so I don't know.
Yes, Matt's talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking then.
What? Okay, so apparently Matt's having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
So what do I think about it? Well, really quickly, there was a lot of backlash, actually, from a lot of people on the internet because they felt it was a cash grab, and that's why they debuted it on The View, because it would appeal to a female demographic. I have no problem with it being a female. The problem is that if you look, they've already done some flash forwards to about 8 months from now, and Thor is male again already. So this looks like it's going to be a very limited time thing.
I was going to refer to that next. Yeah, that's a good point. But I have something to bring up for that.
Now, let's try this again. Matt, what do you think?
Can you hear me?
I totally can't hear you.
I am hearing them.
Okay, if Dave's hearing you, then you're good. Just let us know when you're done.
Okay. Okay. They've had some really good things that appear to be cash grabs at first. Miles Morales taking over Ultimate Spider-Man, the new Ms. Marvel with the young Pakistani American, and it's a lot of it stuff that seemed cash grabbish at first, but they actually just nailed them, and they're great books. So my thought is, as long as they keep that trend up, it's fine. If it does just turn into a blatant cash grab, then it's just going to really suck. My guess
here's one of my questions, Matt, leading out of this. One of my favorite books of all times, and I also know it's Gaz C's favorite books of all times, was called Thorcroor. Okay, and that's where they had Dargo, the future Thor, they had Thunderstrike, and then they had Beta Ray Bill, and sometimes also Thor traveling around basically in a time cube, righting wrongs and all that kind of good stuff. They were being assisted by Kang, the Conqueror. So here's my question. Does this female Thor get a Mjolnir copy out of it? Do you think? And she gets her own book?
It is. I'm assuming it's Angela, since they just started that whole thing with Original Sin.
It's not Angela.
And if it is, then yeah, it's not Angela. Okay.
No, it's apparent. It looks like it's apparently going to be his sister that he didn't know about.
That's Angela.
Is it? I thought she was redheaded, not blonde.
She's Thor's sister. They just revealed that in Original Sin. So spoilers. Oops.
Sorry.
But that's Thor's secret that gets revealed in Original Sin, is that Angela is actually is Thor's sister, and she's been in the 10th realm, which was hitherto unknown, which apparently is the Spawn universe. So, yay.
Wait, she's not that Angela, is she?
She's that Angela.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that happened a while ago. There was like a lawsuit involving her.
She fell through because the entire space-time universe in the 616 is jacked up. She fell through a gap.
Angela, the angel, the bear.
Yes.
Holy crap! I did not know that.
Yeah, there was some weird thing where there was like a lawsuit years ago that involved that.
Yep.
You know, this is a really interesting conversation for me not to have any part of.
So
all I hear is Mark and Dave, and so I'm trying to piece together what the heck you guys are talking about, and I have no clue.
So what Matt was basically telling us was that Angela from Spawn. Did you ever read Spawn?
Yes.
Angela is Thor's sister.
Really?
Which I had no idea.
Cool.
And so anyways, she's now in the 616 universe.
Is she still Angela the Angel?
No, she's Angela, Thor's sister.
Angela the Asgardian.
Angela the Asgard, yeah. Thank you, Stan Lee, in your nomenclature for naming. AA.
Excelsior.
Excelsior. I want to be in Superman Batman. Oh, wait. So, do you think she gets her own Mjolnir and her own book after this?
Sells well, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Daniel?
Well, okay. So I can actually, when we're done here, I can move on to my next story, and that's going to have part of this answer.
All right. What's your next story?
Okay. So my next story is that the word on the street is Marvel's next superhero surprise might be a black Captain America, which I think is awesome. So in the spoiler alert, in the comics right now, the super soldier serum that is keeping Cap young and beautiful is failing him, and so he's becoming an old man, which is about time. That guy needs to age and eat some prunes. And so the word on the street is it's very possible that the next Captain America is going to be the current Falcon, which I think would be really neat. He's been in the comics for a while now. Sam's been in the comics for a while now, and I think it'd be really awesome for him to step up. Heck, Bucky sat in as Captain America for a while. I think it'd be good. So what you were referring to, there is a promotion art for an upcoming issue of the Avengers that supposedly flashes forward 8 months. In the picture, you see what an old guy that looks like he has a blindfold, Hulk, this person who is definitely not Steve Rogers and who has Falcon's hairline and goggles with a Captain America shield. What I think it's Havoc off to the side, and in the front is Thor. Except it's Thor wearing what looks like banded mail, not his normal Thor garb, and he's wielding an Asgardian axe instead of Mjolnir. So my guess is 8 months from now, we're still going to have a female Thor. She's going to have Mjolnir and Thor's armor.
That's a good catch. I did not see that when I looked at the picture.
And Thor's going to have to make do. So I think Thor's pulling a Green Arrow. And what I mean is Green Arrow, for the longest time, had a arrow to solve any problem. He had his net arrow, ice arrows, electricity, a freaking boxing glove arrow. He had arrows for every situation. Well, then he lost all of his money. He ended up on the streets, and he had to go back to basics. And I think that's what they're going to do with Thor. I think they're going to, for lack of a better term, depower Thor. He's still going to have power, but I think they're going to depower him from his godlike status, and he's going to become a superhero that is more mortal before he gets his powers back. Because we know that since she has Mjolnir, she is the only person that has the capability to wield the hammer right now, which means he's going to have to earn it back. And I think that's his whole story arc is going to be earning back his birthright.
Matt, what do you think?
That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm assuming the axe that he's referring to, I haven't seen an image, but it's probably Shadowzorn, which has come into a couple of different storylines recently, and was a weapon he wielded before Mjolnir. I would assume that this is going to go on for a while, and as far as the Falcon being Captain America or someone else taking over, that it's common. It's who does it? I think it would be great for Falcon to get a shot. He's been the buddy cop guy for a long time, so it would be good for him to get a shot. Most of his abilities are from his suit.
Yeah, that's my only issue. We're gonna have 2 Iron Men. I mean, Stark's gonna have to hook him up with nanobots or something in order to replicate Cap's powers for him, because there's no super soldier serum. That's my only issue with it.
Abilities, not powers, just not super.
Yeah, whatever. Same difference.
We went over this once already.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Cap's stupid, whatever. But yeah, I agree. So yeah, that'll be something to watch for sure. And by the way, last thing I'll say about this is I'm pretty sure the old guy with the blindfold is Steve Rogers. So they're gonna find some way to keep him on the Avengers. I just have no idea why he's wearing a blindfold. Maybe somebody plucks out his eyes. That would be fantastic. Thor did that at the end of that one series. Of course, it was to himself. But I'd love it if he plucked out Steve's eyes. That would be fantastic.
Maybe they're doing organ replacement from Steve Rogers over to the new Captain America, so he has his powers.
That's why he's got the big goggles. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Hold Steve's eyes in his head. That's sick. I like it. Dave.
Yo.
So a while back we talked about a Japanese phenomenon that was going crazy, and that was a little game called Yokai Watch. And I said it was going to be the next Pokemon when they brought it over here. Well, apparently they released a second game, and you have some information about that?
Yeah, apparently that's even more popular, selling well over 1 million copies in its first week of sales in Japan. So we don't even have the game over here yet. This thing is just tearing up the charts in Japan. Sold 1.28 million copies. So people were apparently looking forward to it.
Yeah, and from what I know about it is there's 2 actual separate versions of the game.
Yeah,
much like there's Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue, but this one's different. This one's your whole family is going to play with you, or just you. That's the way they designed it, because it's supposed to be a family game. And so if you're playing it by yourself, you buy this version, and if you're playing with your family, you buy this version. So that's kind of interesting. But it still has different characters that you have to trade with other people because they're not in each individual version unless you buy it twice and then you get all of them. Matt, I know you're totally looking forward to this when it comes over here.
Uh-huh.
And that's apparently all he has to say about that. All right.
3DS, I assume?
3DS and Wii U, I believe. But 3DS is the main console.
Yeah, and then there's still the medals and stuff that everybody has to collect and everything for it. So.
Yeah, and apparently there were huge lines for picking up stuff to get the medals and all that crazy.
Yeah, and droughts and everything, so nobody can get stuff that they wanted. Sounds like a nightmare.
Let's see. Xbox lead live deals with gold this week. Let's see. There's a couple interesting things on the Xbox side, which I'm covering since Turo is not here. Couple good deals with gold. For those of you that missed out on the Xbox 360 Ultimate Game Sale, this week, both paid and free Xbox Live subscribers get a 33% discount on Wolfenstein: The New Order for Xbox One, as well as 4 XBLA games for the 360 at half price, which are Quake Arena, Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, and Doom 2. That's from July 17th, starting tomorrow, through July 20th. And then for the rest of the week's deals, starting today through July 21st, for gold subscribers only, Xbox One owners can pick up Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare at 40% off, and the BioShock series has received some major discounts on the 360, with BioShock and BioShock 2 available at a quarter of their normal price. And BioShock Infinite has been slashed by 57%. Plus, the DLC is on sale as well for half off, and the Burial at Sea episodes are 33% off. So lots of stuff. If you missed out on the BioShock series or any of the Wolfenstein series, there's some good buys on the XBLA front this week. From there, Matt, tell us about what Sony's doing this week for sales.
Okay, hopefully you all can hear me. Sony's been doing some crazy sales. They had the flash sale past weekend for some older stuff, and now this week they've got the 2-for-1 sale. So for one price ranging from $9.99 to $29.99, so between $10 to $30, you get 2 games for one low price. Again, the pricing model, if you look at it, it's basically they put 2 games together that were the same price, so it's 2 like $14.99 games for $14.99, so you're getting 1 free. The bundles include Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which is excellent, along with How to Survive, Bionic Commando Rearmed, and Bionic Commando Rearmed 2. So that's one you've been looking to get into. Narco Terror and Sacred Citadel, no idea. NBA Jams on Fire Edition and NFL Blitz. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, that one is a Vita PSP with Grand Theft Auto Vice City PSP. The other ones I had mentioned earlier are PS3. Also, most of the rest of these are PS3. Max Payne 3, the Complete Edition with Red Dead Redemption. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon with Call of Juarez Gunslinger Game Pack. Babel Rising and Outland. Alive. This one is another Vita PSP pack, which is Corpse Party and Corpse Party Book of Shadows, which actually looks interesting. I might swing for that one. Those games look interesting. And then the last one for PS3 is Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, grammar, and Metal Gear 3. I didn't give you the individual prices on those, but again, it ranges from $9.99 to $29.99. The $29.99 one is the Max Payne 3 and Red Dead Redemption, and the $10 ones are Bionic Commando and the Narco Terror Sacred Citadel ones. The rest of them all fall in the middle somewhere.
And was there anything
so those are those
On the PSN this week?
And will run through the 21st of July. Also, PSN overall, and I have found that not having new free games to go down. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, which apparently y'all can't. But I found that when I don't know there's something free to download, and Mark has it snowing. Okay. But there wasn't a whole lot that came out this week on the PSN. On the PS4, there's one new game along with pre-order, which is called Crimson Land. It's a dual-stick shooter, zombies or aliens or monsters or something. I didn't look that closely. That's $13.99. On the PS3, again, they also only had one new game, Abyss Odyssey, which I honestly don't know anything about, for $14.99, and pre-ordering Far Cry 4. On Vita, again, one new game, which is One Piece Unlimited World Red, which is $39.99. So if you're into the One Piece and the fighting games with that series, there is no Far Cry 4 pre-order on Vita. And PlayStation Plus deals, these are discounts. Well, you still have Doki Doki Universe and Dead Space 3 for free, but you have a sale on Crimson Land for the PS4, Ethan Meteor Hunter on PS3 and Vita discount, FIFA World Cup Brazil 2014 PS3 discount. Oh, Muramasa Rebirth on the Vita is free. Strider on the PS4 for free, still same as the beginning of the month. That trivia game on PS4 discounted, and the other PSP 3 and 4 games that were free since the beginning of the month. No PS1 Classics, PS2 Classics, DLC, but I'm not going to go through it all. If you're in games that have regular DLC releases, it's the standard offenders for the most part. Dynasty Warriors 8 has some various DLC deals going on. So that pretty much wraps up your PSN for this week in July.
Perfect. So from there, Crackdown. Yeah, I guess he can't hear us now. Fantastic. Crackdown was announced at E3. A couple new details popped out this week about co-op for the game. And Microsoft Game Studios basically said, creative director Ken Lobb told Official Xbox Magazine that you're going to be playing the game. It's single player, it's co-op, it's a mashup. So basically, rather than having a separate multiplayer and single player mode, people will just be able to drop in and out. And the game will not be called Crackdown 3. It will literally be called just Crackdown because it takes place in a separate, different timeline. So just a couple quick blurbs about Crackdown. And from there, Dave, I know you're a big wrestling fan.
I've been known.
So I heard there was some WWE 15 news about what you could get if you pre-order.
Apparently, if you pre-order, for the one Sting fan out there...
Oh, Sting like this?
Hold on, I have to go back.
Wait,
no,
Sting like this?
No, that's...
That's
Stinger. That's Stinger.
No, this is Sting. What are you talking about?
That's Sting?
Sting.
That's the tantric thing from... He's in the Tantra? What? Oh.
What? No, this is Sting from Lord of the Rings, Bilbo's sword.
Oh, yeah, that movie. The walking movie. Gotcha.
The walking movie.
Even the trees walk in that movie. Alright, so apparently if you pre-order WWE 2K15, and I love how they just get, like, you know, the 2K designation afterward. Actually, this is co-developed by Visual Concepts and Ukes. I thought that was kind of interesting.
It'll be interesting to see what the finished product looks like.
Yeah, so I'm curious if that has any kind of severe impact on it, one way or the other. But apparently the pre-order bonus is Sting. And it's not just, you know, the lame crow Sting. You even get the early 80s lame blonde Sting. So...
You know what I have to say about that?
What?
Woo!
Yeah, I had a bad feeling that's what you were going to say. Remember when RoboCop Freedom on pay-per-view? Remember that one?
I do remember that, sadly.
God, that was awful.
It was very bad. In fact, I'm even wondering. Is he's in the WWE now? Correct.
Yeah.
I've not seen him since he came over. He can no longer descend from the rafters because that's how Owen Hart died. So what do they do? How do they? Because he's still the crow gimmick.
Yeah,
so how does he get down from
pretty
the
sure he's just gonna hobble down to the ring. It's
very true. It's very true.
I remember 10 years ago, I saw a bad match with him in it when he was in that what's his face federation I never watched.
WCW?
No. It was after that. What's that?
TNA?
Yeah,
Starfleet?
TNA.
What are you saying, Daniel?
Starfleet? That federation?
Federation.
Yes. No.
Keep up.
I love you and I hate you at the same time. I don't know how to say that other
You're
than
just
that.
mad you didn't make the joke, that's all.
I am mad I didn't make the joke. That was pretty good, actually. Well, speaking of it being time, it's almost time for the Destiny beta. If you're not familiar, it starts tomorrow. And there's a couple pieces of news about the beta. First of all, Bungie has not decided whether Destiny beta progress will carry over to the main game or not. They have promised that you will get an exclusive emblem that you can use in the game, and they have other teased secret surprises, but they have not said that they are wiping nor keeping the data. I'm personally just going to assume that they're going to wipe the beta data. Beta data. Beta data. All right, so yeah, I assume they're going to wipe the beta data. Now I can't say it. God damn it. Excuse my friend. All right. But they did also clarify what the beta will have in it. So the beta looks to have 4 story chapters, 4 PvP maps, and 1 cooperative strike, as well as more of the world to explore. The Xbox One download clocks in at about 12 gigs in size, so you can probably expect the same for the PS4. The beta begins on July 17th, which is tomorrow, and it starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That would be 1 a.m. Eastern time or noon Central time. And then it will go offline, and that's only for PS4 and PS3. And then it will go offline for maintenance on Monday, July 22nd and July 21st. So Monday and Tuesday both will be offline, and then it will return on PS4, PS3, Xbox One, and 360 from Wednesday, July 23rd till Sunday, July 27th. And they're saying you should really log in on a Sunday, the July 27th. They're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff going on. I am super excited for the beta. What about you guys?
Should be fun.
Daniel?
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not going to be able to play this weekend because I'm camping, but as soon as I get back, I'm planning on putting in logging as many hours as I can because it looks really ridiculously good, and I really hope that the groups work together as well as I saw on some of the gameplay videos that I've seen.
So you're going to be gone on this weekend, so we will make a plan to log in on Monday and Tuesday. Oh wait, that's when it's down.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll get it. We'll get in there though.
Yeah, we'll get in there eventually.
Let's see. So Daniel, I know beta is one thing, or the Destiny beta is one thing you're looking forward to, but I also know that you're looking forward to another game. Well, I know you like Little Big Planet a lot.
Yes, I do.
And I know you're looking forward to Little Big Planet 3, but even though it's not being developed by Media Molecule.
Yeah, which is I don't get.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, Media Molecule is not making Little Big Planet 3. It's being made by the people that made Little Big Planet Vita, which is super good, just FYI.
Yeah, but this is about to become a non-family friendly podcast.
Well, no.
Seriously, Media Molecule's not doing 3?
No, they didn't. They're not doing 3.
Oh, I did not know that. Who's doing it?
The same people that did the Vita version.
Oh, yeah, you just said that.
Yeah. That's that whole, you know,
Around and
talking-
around it goes.
talking.
I mean, it was good and everything. I just worry about the soul, of the game.
No,
The soul looks intact.
I
Okay.
spent hours and hours and hours and hours making levels with Little Big Planet 1 and Little Big Planet 2. So I was actually really not happy. But I've seen some of the trailer and some of the reviews and stuff of what's being done, and I'm optimistic. Now, Media Molecule did announce that they have a new project that they're going to announce at Gamescom, which is about a month away, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what it is. I liked Tearaway. I didn't play it through to completion, but I liked it when I did play it, and I loved Little Big Planet 1 and 2. So I'm sure that what they're going to put out is going to be good stuff.
Gamescom is less than a month away. Geez, didn't we just have E3?
That's what they do. They stack them all together.
Yeah, good golly. All right.
That was
Yay,
so long
Gamescom.
ago.
It was like last month.
We have a week to SDCC. I mean,
Oh my
time
God.
flies.
Is that really this week?
It's next weekend.
Oh my
Not
goodness.
this weekend, next weekend.
Well, jeez. All right. Summer, hooray. Convention
Yay.
season. Yay.
But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Media Molecule will produce gold once again?
Look, they're going to get my money no matter what they make so far. They're on that developer list of people I will support blindly at this point. So until they mess that up, they have my money.
What if it's a move game?
They wouldn't do that. Oh my
Really?
God. They'd say they
That's
wouldn't.
the demo. They already did. That's the demo they showed the last time we saw them. Was they were making a clay sculpting thing with the move, and I'm like,
Wait. No, didn't they show off something? Wasn't them who were showing off something with the virtual display that Sony's working on?
no, I don't think they've done anything yet with Morpheus that we're aware of.
I thought there was a little blurb saying that there was like either something they showed off behind closed doors or something.
Oh God, it's about to become a Sackboy war in here.
What?
I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea. They haven't released anything for this new project yet, so I'm really looking forward to whatever they have to push.
Yeah, Alex Rigoropoulos usually does not disappoint. Let's see. Is Matt back yet, or does he fall off the internet? He fell off the internet for good. So I get to do his stories too. Yay! Let's see. Couple different metrics were released this week. First of all, the July NPD numbers came in. NPD, of course, is the official, unofficial listing of number of units of things sold. So it looks like the PS4, as of June of 2014, the PlayStation 4 sold 211,000 more units than the Xbox One, bringing their lead to 3.5 million units. So the PlayStation 4s sold 8.3 million units, I'll call it 8.4, looking at the number here, in 6 months, while the Xbox One has sold 4.8 million units. So that's interesting. But on the same time, Microsoft is claiming that sales of the Xbox One doubled in June, but did not give any numbers to support it. So it's really odd. I don't know why they wouldn't, even if they're bad numbers. It's not like they're selling through the roof now. So I don't understand the harm in releasing what the number was and what it is now. But
are they comparing it like their sales doubled in June compared to the previous month, or are they saying their overall sales of Xbox One has doubled?
To the previous month, and they're basically attributing that to the connectless Xbox One.
That makes sense.
That's what they're saying. So we'll see. I mean, time will tell. It's still a healthy race. We'll see what happens there.
The Media Molecule rumor was a Morpheus game, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't.
It was rumor, and then they confirmed that they received a dev kit for Morpheus.
Yeah, but here's my problem. I don't think they're going to announce it at Gamescom, because if they announce that at Gamescom, that means that they're going to have some other games ready for the system, and I just don't think that's going to happen unless they port Alien Isolation, which would be amazing.
That doesn't seem like something they would do. You don't give that to them.
Why not? They gave it to Oculus. No, I'm not talking about Media Molecule.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about Media. I know about Morpheus. I don't. Unless Media Molecule is actually making a game for it, then I'll start caring about it.
I think you're going to start caring about it. That's my bet. So, Dave.
Yes.
I know you like shoes.
Sure.
You know who else likes shoes?
Imelda Marcos?
Imelda Marcos. And you know who Imelda Marcos is not?
Imelda Marcos is not. Hold on. I'm drawing a blank on his name real quick. It was, what you call? Was it Noriega?
Yeah, that's it.
There we go.
Imelda Marcos is not Manuel Noriega.
Yeah.
And the only reason I had that segue was because I had nothing better. But Manuel Noriega, former dictator, who was in prison for a very long time, has sued Activision over his portrayal in Call of Duty, Black Ops 2. He said, hey, I really wasn't that bad a guy. I wasn't a murderer, a kidnapper, or an enemy of the state. That helped elevate sales of the games, and I'm going to sue you guys. God bless America. America. Yeah, that's all I got for that one.
I just want to know, like, how did he even find out about it? Like,
I don't know.
Like, that had to be an awkward day. He's probably just like, oh my God, you're in Call of Duty. He's he's 80 years old. What does he care? Like, somebody, like, that had to just be an awkward day, trying to convince him to sue these guys.
It's an interesting story all around. I figure if Lindsay Lohan succeeds, then Noriega will succeed, which means I think neither of them will succeed. Since Lindsay Lohan is suing Activision as well. Or Rockstar, sorry, for Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan already tried that before with somebody. She tried suing a...
Disney for The Parent Trap?
No. It was a commercial. It was one of the commercials with the babies in it.
The E-Trade talking babies?
E-Trade, yeah. And they were making fun of that one baby, and they called the baby Lindsay, and she had, like, some kind of, like, milk addiction or something like that, they said.
Yeah.
And she tried to claim that they were making fun of, like, her, and she sued them for that.
It's called parody, and there are laws.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, Dave, I know one game that you played that you did like, but I don't know if you ever finished it, and that was The Last of Us.
Did not finish it, and then kind of I lost the urge to want. I know, but I lost the urge to want to finish it because I heard they were doing a super high def remix on the PS4, and it's.
So are you gonna get it?
Totally gonna get it.
Me too.
It's only $40, dude. You kind of like have to. Like, it's one of the best.
By the way, just as an FYI, if you do trade games in to the evil empire that is GameStop, all of your games get an additional 50% trade-in value for the next couple weeks. So I actually have no PS4 games left, but I got a ton of money.
Wow.
And paid off all my stuff for October. Including Last of Us Remastered. So you are going to pick it up?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Are there any new details about it?
Hold on, I just had it up and then you distracted me. Basically, a lot of great little effects have been added to it. They've doubled shadows. They draw distances noticeably better. Motion blur when turning the camera, which has been significantly like reduced, so they don't have that because they used to have that in there. They did the motion blur thing, the kind of like what were they doing? They were like making sure like textures weren't popping in.
Yeah,
So they were
like if
kind
there
of
were low-res textures to load and all that stuff.
yeah. So they were kind of if they did the motion blur and that kind of like covered up as everything loaded, and then like it would like pop in like once everything stopped. So apparently that's been reduced. Just a lot of enhancements over everything, a lot of like little touches, and that game already looked amazing.
So one of the questions we kept getting was, is there going to be a trade-in program? So if I've got my PS3 version of The Last of Us, can I trade it in for it and $10 in order to get the new one?
Yeah, they confirmed they will not be doing that.
So take it to GameStop this week, kids! Yay!
Yeah, I might even do that myself.
Yeah, that's why I did it. As soon as I saw the story.
That kind of makes sense now.
So another game that's coming out here shortly for the PS4, Xbox One, and last-gen consoles is Disney Infinity Marvel 2.0 Edition. Lord knows what the actual name is this week. It's different every time I hear it. But anyways, the new Disney Infinity game, they've announced that Stitch and Tinkerbell are going to be figures that you can get for the game. There's a video released to accompany their announcement. However, something at the end of it that they say makes it sound like they can only be used in the toy box. And this was one of the big hang-ups of the first game, was that you had these characters, but you could only use them in the toy box. And I thought that they had fixed that. And if they haven't, then I personally it's back on the drawing board again for whether or not I actually want to pick up the game and invest in a new set of figures. Because I got really tired. I have this awesome Jack Skellington character. And you know what I can do with it in Disney Infinity?
Nothing.
You got it. Not a flippin' thing. So that really kind of pisses me off. So I don't know.
I have Fantasia Mickey because I wanted to be able to play with the kids, and it's the same thing. I will not be picking up Infinity 2.0 if it's toy box only. I won't be.
What about the characters that have their own stages like the Marvel stuff?
It's not worth it to me to buy 6 figures, 7 figures for one game that is meant to be open Disney World. That's like saying, here's Kingdom Hearts 3, but we're only going to let you play with Aladdin.
I'm torn because on the one hand, look at Transformers. How much do Transformers go for today, Dave?
Oh, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. So my issue with it is because that they're not just video game accessories; they're also collectibles. And if you look at here, let me illustrate this case in point. Give me 1 second. Almost there.
Are they really collectible if they're unlimited?
They're not unlimited. They're not unlimited. Some of them are even hard to find now. Look, this is what I want to show you really quickly. So these are, I don't know how easy it's going to be. You know what? Hold on. Oh, shit. Shoot. Excuse my French. 1 second. This is going to be easier. I have a very important point to make here. So these are called D&D minis. Let me see if I can... Yep, you can see them now. So these are called D&D minis. Now, if you guys had to guess, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters here on this box that you guys can see. Anyone want to hazard a guess what those 8 miniatures are worth today?
I can't see who they are, but I'm going to guess a lot.
Yeah, each one of them retails for at least $10. Most.
Did you buy those individually, or did you have to buy a random box and get them randomized as if they were Magic cards?
Either or.
Okay.
Those were the choices.
To me, that's the big difference. I could go in and buy. I saw Jack Skellington on the shelf the other day, and I was going to pick it up, but I don't want to play just in the toy box.
I hear you, but here's my issue that I have. These were plentiful. I mean, these were more than plentiful. The boxes, and even buying them individually, you could get a ton of them. and you could get them cheap. And now, because it's been, 5-7 years since they came out, they're impossible to find. So my worry is that when they finally do fix Infinity so that you don't have this problem anymore, then I'm going to want all these figures that I didn't buy in the past, and I'll be screwed and I can't get them.
You know, when they finally unlock it so that you don't have to play in the toy box, I'm going to be like, oh, shoot, I'm spending all this time on anything else. You should have fixed it when I was playing it. Oh.
Can you add Matt back in? Apparently he can't rejoin.
I can try.
That's what's going on.
And then the podcast crashed.
I have sent him an invite to come back in. Let's see. Next on the list, Daniel.
Hey!
So I'm wondering whether they're going to fix the toy box. And speaking of things that make us wonder...
That was an amazing segue.
Or things that are broken.
No. These are things that make us wonder.
Okay, so here's the thing. Normally, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, well, no, not 5 years ago, but about 10 years ago, I would have seriously doubted any show that Sci-Fi put on that was either an original property or a remastered property or even a retelling of the same story. I would have seriously doubted it. But of the TV shows that Sci-Fi has either purchased from Canada or shows that Sci-Fi has produced on its own or shows that Sci-Fi has redone, I've liked about 90% of them. Warehouse 13, Eureka, BSG, Battlestar Galactica, absolutely. And then there's shows that we're watching this season that are just amazing. So
like Sharknado?
Like Sharknado, for example, which is so terrible it's great. And anyone who has seen any of the Mystery Science Theater 3000s can appreciate it. Did
you see the Rift Tracks? That was the other thing I didn't mention that I did last week. I went to the Rift Tracks Sharknado in theaters.
I have not seen the Rift Tracks for that, but I'm sure that they were hilarious.
It is. It was horrible. I've never seen that movie till then, and it was... Oh my god, it was so bad.
So... Moving on to Sci-Fi.
Yeah. What did Sci-Fi announce, Daniel?
So Sci-Fi has announced, and they actually have the official trailer out, that they are looking at doing, well, not looking at doing, they've already started, a 12 Monkeys TV series. Now, whether it's going to be a one-season build, which they have done before, or a show that's meant for multiple seasons, there's no way to know. But the trailer makes it look like they've spread the plot of 12 Monkeys over at least one season. It has a lot of the same issues and the like. Now, I will ask you to keep in mind that they did purchase Continuum, the rights to play Continuum on the Sci-Fi Network, which is another time travel series, and it's done remarkably well. And they've actually looked into the rights for furthering the series, like they should have done with Firefly. But 12 Monkeys, it looks like they've extended it over a series, and to be honest, it doesn't look like an A+ series, but it definitely looks like something that I would give a shot to.
Yeah, I watched the trailer and I thought it looked like a solid B+. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I actually thought it looked all right. So I think I might give it a shot as well. What about you, Dave?
I'm probably gonna want to set fire to the studio for attempting it. I mean, come on, it's a Terry Gilliam movie, first of all. So that has like just a wonderful look to it and a style to it that nobody else can bring to the table. It is by far one of my favorite performances from Brad Pitt. There's...
You know he had to have okayed it, right?
So you have fanboy hate.
It's not so much fanboy hate, but it's more like quality hate.
What did you think of Transformers 2 and 3?
What, the movies?
Yeah.
Oh God, they're awful.
But they're Transformers. They're the only Transformers movies you're gonna get.
Yeah, I know. So I'm not gonna watch them. Dude, the second Transformers movie starts off with Optimus Prime going like gangster on people. Like, all I saw in the beginning of Transformers 2 was a bunch of Decepticons, like, running their asses off for their life because they were being hunted with a bunch of humans around for no reason whatsoever because they're completely ineffective in these movies. They do nothing. And then Optimus Prime, like, stops allegedly one of the bad guys, because Optimus is the bad guy in the beginning of 2.
Allegedly.
And he just, like, basically the guy's, like, kneeling down. Optimus just comes up in the back of his head, puts one in the back of his neck. Come on!
Black!
He executed a Decepticon in the beginning of that movie.
Well, they had it coming. They stole too much Energon.
This is Optimus Prime. This is the guy.
They have deception in their name. How could they not be bad?
This is Optimus Prime. This is the guy who was just like, he knew everybody cheated. It was like, well, we gotta leave Earth and let all the humans die. We lost. That's what he used to do. He was goody two-shoes to a fault, and that's why he died.
And was brought back. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's only because kids tried.
Yeah, because they missed the best character in the series.
Ugh.
They had this wimpy replacement character who could never do anything right and sucked, named Rodimus Prime. Maybe you've heard of him?
The hero of the movie? Yeah.
Rodimus Prime? That sounds like a Transformer from Kentucky.
Yeah, I know, right? And he had, the best part was when he transformed into a vehicle, he had a sleeper attached to him, where people could go and sleep. And it was painted all badass with flames and everything, but it was still a sleeper. It was still a sleeper.
So, 12 Monkeys. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when it comes out.
Well, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, we totally derailed that. Yay. So, Daniel, I don't know. Did you ever play like Nintendo games when you were younger?
I played original Nintendo. I played a lot of Nintendo. I don't know if I played any of the darker themed games.
All right. So I know you did. I know you have handhelds, so you play all the DS and 3DS games, right, Dave?
Oh yeah.
All right. So Games Radar has a very interesting set of theories about Nintendo games that they say could possibly ruin your childhood. And I've been reading through them, and there are a couple highlights that I wanted to discuss because some of them I really like. The first one is Pokemon Red and Blue. And
this one's brilliant.
The funny part is that you said exactly it. It's like dogfighting. That you're sticking these animals against each other for our amusement. But their theory is that you're actually the villain because you murder your rival's Pokemon, and then later he becomes the Pokemon champion, and you steal the title from him. And then during the game's ending scene, Professor Oak, who is like the pinnacle, male authority figure, scolds Gary and congratulates you. And Gary is an orphan raised by his grandfather, who happens to be Professor Oak. So you kill Gary's Pokemon, rob his title, and steal the praise from the only adult that loves him. Pretty sure you're the bad guy. What do you think?
I completely agree. I just like the part about the whole Raticate thing, and like meeting up with him in the town where like the dead Pokemon are. Just like, wow, that was a lot darker than it should have been. Like, it's pretty obvious.
One of the other ones I thought was kind of interesting that I wanted to tackle.
Please say it's the Punch-Out one. Because that was hilarious.
Okay, but I don't think I'm to it yet. So, one of my favorite ones that I saw in here is that the Star Fox crew are all amputees. So, their justification for this is that in this theory, any R-Wing pilot has to have their legs amputated. But not because there's something wrong with the pilots, but because in military trivia, if you're piloting a jet under high Gs, it causes blood to drain to the lower parts of the body, and pilots can easily black out. But if there are no lower extremities for the blood to go to, it circulates normally. So the only way Fox and his crew could even survive is if they had their legs removed. And what kind of backs this up is there is a Nintendo Power cover of the Star Fox team, and they all have cybernetic legs. All of them in this cover have cybernetic legs. Daniel, what do you think?
I haven't seen that cover that they have. Let me see.
I'm looking at it right now. Those are Robo legs for sure.
I think they're boots. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that.
No. If you're looking at
First of all,
there's no way that ankle is in a boot.
This is a spaceship, and these aren't humans. Oh no, that's a good point. That's definitely not a boot.
You found it. That's totally disturbing. I mean, I think that has actually ruined my entire feeling about Star Fox.
I really don't like that one. That's mean.
No, mean is the Mike Tyson one.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to tackle the one right before that first, because I think it's pretty interesting, and that is that Link is dead during the entirety of Majora's Mask.
I actually thought this while I was playing it.
And
I didn't play this until a couple of years ago, and that's actually really interesting.
Their justification is the Elegy of Emptiness, which is a song you can play on the Ocarina that lets you make a statue copy of characters that have died. And by wearing the Deku, Goron, and Zora masks, you can make copies of the Deku's butler's son, Darmani, and Mikau, respectively. And those are all dead characters. But when you play the Elegy of Emptiness without a mask, you still make a copy of yourself. And when you meet the Happy Mask salesman, his first words are, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" And the only other time he says that is when time expires and the moon destroys Termina. Do you think he's dead, Dave?
It sure sounds like it.
I like that these games are not as cheerful as we remember them. It's kind of awesome to me. All right, so Dave, why don't you talk about the last one there that you want
to? Mike Tyson's punch out.
I think this one's really messed up. Just FYI.
This is great. They said basically the whole thing is a staged fake thing by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They said Little Mac is clearly, he looked like he was very sickly, and so like he was also 17. So the Make-A-Wish Foundation grants kids under the age of 18, their wishes, and if he was sick and everything and wanted to do this, I mean, there's no way he's beating up any of these professional boxers. So all the boxers kind of put on a big show, and they have these big patterns, and they have these really, really fake over the top, when they get knocked out and everything like that. So just put on a big show for him. It's kind of like when they, ran that little kid around town dressed as Batman, and he took out everybody. It's totally something they would do. This theory makes a lot of sense, actually.
I think it's super far-fetched, that one for me. I mean, although Glass Joe does make me wonder. Really? One punch to the chin and you're down? Really? All right. So, that's pretty much it for this week's news. Let's get to reader mail. Reader mail, questions de reader in Espanol. Anybody else have cool reader mail jingles or catchphrases? No? All right. So let's get right to it. Mari asks, if you could sacrifice... Oh, wait. No, we already did that one.
Yeah,
I must not have erased it. Sorry. Oh, there we go. 1H has the first one. As long as they're the same title, why not let PS3 and PS4 players play together?
That's just architecture.
That would be my answer as well, but why don't you elaborate?
Well, basically, I mean, it's totally separate code that runs them from one system to the other. So unless we're talking about they could probably do it if we're talking about a real simple game, but even then it would require a lot of server work on the back end to get things to be cross-compatible like that. So it's just in that case, it's probably not worth it for any game like that that's smaller. For any of the major games, it's just more like they could do it, but it would just take a lot of time to get everything working right.
Well,
and
I
they
think
probably...
I think one of the big concerns as well is, let's take just as an example Assassin's Creed Unity. All right, we know that there's not a PS3 version coming out, but let's say hypothetically there was. All right, and if I make it so that the PS3 players and the PS4 players can play together, I've built that enormous infrastructure on the back end. All right, and it comes time to retire the PS3. Well, now I'm affecting a PS4 game as well. Because at that point, you've ingrained the PS3's functionality with the PS4 game, and that could cause a whole lot more problems on the back end. So I just don't think it's monetarily or business. There's not a good business case to allow people to play together in that case. Good question though. Fivor asks, does PS Plus rock or does PS Plus rock?
Oh, it rocks.
Daniel, you're a brand new initiate to PS Plus.
I've only had PS Plus for about 2 hours, so I'm going to have to answer that one later.
All right, we'll check back with you. Gaz actually wrote in a second question. He said if it's allowed, and it is. Have any of you ever gotten so mad that you ended up breaking a controller?
My story is so lame with that.
Go ahead.
It was Xbox. It was the original Xbox. And it was Ninja Gaiden.
Wait, and the Xbox version, the Xbox Ninja Gaiden, not the original somehow that you're playing on an Xbox.
Right. The Xbox Ninja Gaiden.
Got it.
And I remember getting to the point where it was you're in that one room and there's like all the obstacles, and then there's like people all down the end that you can't see, and they're like flinging arrows and everything like that at you. So you're just like, as you're trying to make like these complicated jumps, you're also getting hit with an arrow, and you just like it's just the worst design level I've ever played in my life. And I remember just getting mad, and I was in a room, and I sat in this chair that was really low. I was about a foot off the ground was the chair I was in, and I just got like really mad at the game, and I let the controller drop, and it hit floor that was carpeted, and that broke the controller. Because then, like, the guy started going around a little circle on the screen. I picked up the controller, and I just thought it was, like, leaning on the stick. Picked up the controller, and he's still going in a circle. So I was just like, all right, maybe it just, like, got reset or something like that. Then I reset the game, started up the system. Damn thing still registered and left the whole time, and it couldn't even fix it. I took apart the controller and everything. I couldn't fix it. So a 6-inch drop off the ground is what broke the controller on me. But technically, I dropped it out of anger. So
have you been to anger management counseling since then?
Yeah, I know. I really felt like I needed it because that kind of hurt. I didn't have $40 to replace that controller at the time.
Daniel, what about you?
Nope, I haven't. I don't play video games very often, so I haven't gotten really frustrated enough. I've had friends. We were playing Halo again, original Xbox, the big fatty controllers, and a buddy of mine sent one sailing into drywall, and it left a dent. But the big fatty controller was just fine. It was one of the.
You can't hurt the Duke.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. 15 pounds of controller.
That controller was all man. But to this day, still the best thing to play the original Halo.
Well, I disagree with that, but that's all right.
Yeah, that thing was really felt good for Halo.
So I play a ton of video games, and I have never broken a controller out of anger. In fact, I've never broken a controller. The one time I thought I had a broken controller, but if you're not familiar with the original PlayStation controllers, if you had one of the analog sticks pressed in a direction when you turn the controller on, it thought that was neutral. And so if you reset it, it would fix it. So I thought it was broken because my guy was running around in a circle, or my menus were going in a circle as well, but I just unplugged it, turned it off, plugged it back in, and it was no problem. So I've never actually broken one. Generally, if I get pissed at a game, I just stop playing it, and I walk away and go do something else.
Yeah, that's what I do. Matt says he has thrown a controller but never broken one.
Yeah, I have a strict no throwing the controller at my house policy, and if anyone ever breaks it, they're never allowed to play video games at my house again. I'm pretty... Those things are expensive.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. They're not cheap anymore.
Yeah. Good question, Gaz. John S. How about that Constantine? Constantine, the TV show coming up. Actually,
pretty cool.
yeah, except I don't think it's like that anymore. I think
Really?
they made some changes, if I remember right. Daniel, you knew anything about this or no?
Well, I know that they changed out their leading actress, and that character supposedly isn't showing up anymore. So
that was the one that is the friend that he's there to protect, right?
yes. So I'm not sure how that's going to play into the whole feel of the show. But to be honest, I don't know. I actually really liked the movie, and I've read a couple of the comic books, but I'm not steeped into that. Was that a laugh or was that a sneeze?
No, that was somebody readjusting a headset, I think.
Well, God bless you.
Thank you.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it still. I think it's going to be cool. That I'm actually looking forward to a couple of the shows, the genre shows that are coming out for nerds like us.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm willing to give it a chance. It's nice to see Michael finally made it to heaven and isn't stuck in Lost in limbo anymore.
Yeah.
I just want to know if he found Walt. That's the only thing I really care about.
Nice.
And Matt's still looking forward to it, even with the changes.
Are you? Do we need to like hold hands again so that you can?
I was just thinking that too. It's funny. You're hearing voices from beyond.
Yeah, it's awesome. Let's see. Taylor W. What games were your first ones that you really loved when you were younger?
Zelda. Legends of Zelda.
Berserk.
See,
Asteroids.
Final Fantasy for the original Game Boy.
The Tron game in the arcade.
Yeah, see, I have like two schools of thought of that. There's all the original arcade games back when you could play arcade games, but then I think the question is what were your console favorite games?
Asteroids. Berserk. On the Atari, I love those games. Yeah, I mean that's what I cut my teeth on. So.
See, I'd say all the Intellivision ones, but I think the first one I really connected with was Final Fantasy II on the Super NES. That or Gauntlet, because that was the first multiplayer game I'd ever played.
I would say Gauntlet. Yeah.
That was the first time I experienced social gaming, and I mean that's pretty much influenced my gaming habits ever since.
I think another one that really blew me away. I think another one that really blew me away when I first got it is when I saved up all my money for a Sega Genesis, and I fired up Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time, and it was just like so much more colorful than everybody's Nintendo that they had at the time, and all that kind of stuff. And like it was just fast, and it was just different than everything else, and just really, really. Oh, shut up! Don't even. That game was great.
I know. I like Sonic, the first one.
I would say Chrono Trigger. That'd be a big one for me too.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, for me, Chrono Trigger didn't happen until a lot later, but I agree wholeheartedly. Chrono Trigger is like the first RPG I fell in love with beyond Final Fantasy II.
All right, Matt chimed in with Centipede, Super Mario Brothers, and Mega Man 2 was his first super obsession.
Awesome.
That's a pretty good choice, actually.
I think so too.
That's a good choice, yeah.
Destiny W writes in and asks, I love Legos and hear you guys talk about them all the time. Did you see the Lego Bioshock Infinite diorama?
Yeah, that thing was ridiculous.
Yeah, and if you listen to the guy talk, I'm not being judgy, but total nerd.
Really? Somebody would make a diorama of Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think he left the basement kind of nerd. Poor kid. I felt bad
There's
for him.
Yeah, I was at a Lego convention and I saw somebody that I kind of felt bad for. They set up like you used to go to this table and they had this really cool looking ship. And like everything you could see, like all the ships were like, the same color and everything like that. Like they made an armada. And then you're sitting there looking at it like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that one's cool. There's a big capital ship like right next to it. And then you look next to it and he only built 3 ships and just keeps building the same things over and over again. And he filled up all these tables. And I was like, okay, that's kind of neat.
He only knew how to make the 3 ships, man.
Right. And I just felt kind of bad at that point.
It's Columbus reincarnated.
Last question of the evening. Harry O asks, what is your favorite genre of game? Daniel?
Science fiction RPG.
Nice. So you're talking like Shadowrun.
Shadowrun, even some of the higher science fiction, but like Star Wars, The Old Republic, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Star Trek Online, a lot of a lot of the Star Trek first-person shooters that came out, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Dave, help me. What's
Online,
the Dave? Help me. What's the title that came out? It's a strategy game, but then they also came out with
Buck Rogers Countdown to Doomsday?
No.
Dune?
XCOM Declassified.
Oh, XCOM, yeah.
Daniel, that's one that you would really enjoy, by the way.
XCOM Declassified. I'll look it up.
So there's 2 of them. One is a turn-based strategy game. The other is a shooter. You want the strategy game.
Yeah, the strategy game is where it's at.
It's amazing. Amazing good.
Can make you pull your hair out, though.
But that's good by my book. There's consequences to your wrong actions.
Yeah.
That's the best way to say
it. You have character. It's not like it's not like some strategy games where you just have like, okay, you have a bunch of soldiers, you have a bunch of equipment. It's you have this guy and you're leveling him up and you're doing all this stuff and you're putting all this effort into him and he just gets taken out by some stupid mistake in the next round and you're just like, he's gone.
Yeah, he's permadead. They don't come back.
So wow.
Death is
I thought he was taking a nap. No, you blew his face off.
Yeah, he's dead forever. And you're not getting him back, and you get to start all over with somebody else.
That's funny.
So I like it because it's got real consequences, but the setting is really good too. You really like that. Dave, what's your favorite genre?
I was just kind of trying to think about this. It's actually kind of tough for me because I like a lot of different stuff. But I think we're going to have to go real specific on this and go the Metroidvania style games. 2D exploration, building on powers to do stuff because I'm playing that that Shovel Knight right now.
Yep, you like it?
God, that's just scratching an itch, dude. I mean, that's a genre I just keep going back to and I just keep loving. There was one that was mentioned. It's part of one of the bundles. Was it Outland? Is that the one, the Ubisoft one? That's kind of like you shift. There's like you're kind of like orange or blue, and you're going through and bouncing around stuff. I think that was Outland. But that was really good. All the Castlevania games they had on the Game Boy Advance, and DS when they came out with those. The Metroid Fusion game, the other Metroid game they did with that. I mean, that's a genre I just love.
So I'm trying to pull up something really quickly because that I'm not sure you're familiar with. That is a Metroidvania actually being completely built by one person. And I'm looking for the name of it. It's a tried and true Metroidvania style game, and the best part about it is that you remember how you had the old glitches in the ROMs?
Yeah.
So that's actually part of the game, and you use the glitches.
Oh, that's funny. Matt confirmed it was Outland that I was talking about.
Oh, okay. And I suddenly have stupid Planet of the Apes all over my screen, so I can't find what I'm looking for. I'm still trying to find it. I will find it here in a minute. Gosh golly. To steal Matt's thunder. All right, I'll find it after a while, and I'll tell you what it is. But I know you're going to be very interested in it. So, beyond that, let's close out with our final thoughts of the evening. We'll go around the room. Start with you, Dave.
What's up?
Final thoughts.
Yeah, game on.
That's not a final thought.
Oh, sorry.
That's the end of the show, not a final thought.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Check out the new Weird Al album. It's great. It's awesome. Check out the videos. He's releasing one every day. 3 down so far, so we got 5 more to go. He's knocking them out of the park. Internet's buzzing. He's #1 on Amazon right now, #2 in iTunes. So this thing's actually selling too.
Axiom Verge is the name of the game. And
that sounds familiar. I remember hearing about that one.
And it's PlayStation's very own Metroid. Okay, Daniel, final thoughts.
Oh, hey. So final thoughts for me would be definitely go out and take a look at that D&D basic box for D&D Next or D&D 5th edition. You can't really beat the price on Amazon right now at all. Only worthwhile if you even have an inkling that it's something that your group or you would be interested in. That's all.
I might have fallen off the internet.
No,
you're here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I clicked on a link for Axiom Verge to send to Dave, and my computer immediately went, well, all right.
Oh, no,
so my final thought for the evening, I may not be able to pull it up, but I remember what it is. Okay. Shack News has an article up, and it's entitled Video Game Documentaries You Shouldn't Miss. And it actually talks about the King of Coins, all these different video game documentaries that you can get off streaming services or watch for free about video gaming and the video gaming industry. So do go check those out. That seemed like it was a great list, and it's all free, so that's the best part about it. So that's it. Gonna do it for this week. Episode 59 is in the bag. Quick housekeeping items. Do please go visit the website, which is gamersledge.com. Follow us on Twitter at Balt99. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/gamersledge. Subscribe, like, and comment to this video on YouTube. Watch us on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Balt99. Daniel, you have any other shout-outs that you want to give out for Facebook or anything like that?
Nope.
All right, and until next week then, game on.
Game on.
Car.
No, you're supposed to say game on. I see what you did there.
Game on.
Most of the people watching will have never watched Wayne's World.
Look, you can put the Energon cube on his chest like it's popping out.
Yeah, I'm talking to you now.